This is South Florida Today on NBC6 HD.
Hair loss can be personal and painful and affects men and women, but what can make the situation even worse is going to a doctor having a treatment that makes the balding go from bad to worse. So how do you find a doctor that has the skill in restoring your mane? Dr. Alan Bauman of Boca Raton specializes in hair restoration and transplant, and he is an expert who is light years ahead of most doctors working in this field. He joins us to talk about some of the latest technologies today. Welcome, it's good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Trina. It's always a pleasure coming in.
Describe to me and tell me how NeoGraft works and why it's so beneficial.
Okay, well, NeoGraft is a game changer in the field of hair transplant because no one wants to be cut with a scalpel or have stitches in their head after a procedure. NeoGraft allows us to pluck follicles for transplants with no scalpel, no staples, no stitches, minimally invasive procedure that leaves no telltale sign that you've had the procedure done, and a fast recovery. And
we're actually in your office right now, and describe to me what's happening with this young man.
This patient's going to have a NeoGraft surgery. Here we are getting the procedure and the device prepared. I'm getting ready to pluck those follicles one at a time for transplants. They'll be permanently redistributed to the thinning and the balding areas. And this procedure is new because it's less invasive, and it has faster recovery, less downtime.
Fantastic.
So here I'm performing the procedure. The patient's comfortable, local anesthetic. Patient does not feel anything during the procedure. And they can be back in the gym in 3 days.
Back in the gym in 3 days, that's amazing.
Don't try that with stitches or staples.
Yeah. Let's go to our next picture here, because this is a young man who, I guess, had a traditional hair replacement service.
That's right. 20% of men in their 20s are going to have hair loss. This gentleman in his late 20s who had a single session of transplantation.
One session?
Yes, one session to restore the hairline and the temples and the temporal points. You can see him here before, 6 months after, and 1 year after the procedure.
That's pretty amazing. So let's go on to our next photo so you can go through so people can see exactly what you can do. This is typical male pattern, maybe?
Male pattern hair loss can end up with total depletion of the follicles, and transplants are the only way to permanently restore living and growing hair. But not everybody needs transplantation. You know, there are non-invasive therapies that can work.
Okay. And this picture right here, what do we see?
This is rejuvenation of the hair follicles using low-level laser therapy. So this is a non-chemical, non-invasive way to get the hair follicles to grow better, stronger, thicker, and healthier.
And this is a female patient right here.
Female hair loss affects tens of millions of women. It's not taboo to talk about female hair loss anymore. We do have treatments. That patient had a single session of transplantation to see the coverage right there in those photos after 1 year.
Does everyone need a hair transplant, though, to take care of their problem?
They don't, and that's certainly the case today. Once we've got a diagnostics and the treatment plan underway, we can really determine, hey, maybe a non-invasive therapy will work. FDA-approved medications like Propecia for men, minoxidil topicals, or prescription version of minoxidil can really crank up those follicles.
Okay. You've got some other things that can help too.
Oh yeah. One of the latest and greatest ways to diagnose and to really track how much hair loss is happening is the hair check device. It takes 5 minutes. It's a non-invasive caliper that basically measures how much hair is growing in the various areas of the scalp.
So you put that thing right on someone's hair?
We make tiny little temporary markings on the scalp.
Oh, okay.
We go back to the same area again and again, and we can measure it.
So you kind of track it
over time. So is your hair growth treatment working? Now we can tell you whether it is or it isn't.
Fascinating. Now what's this doohickey right here?
Well, laser therapy comes in many different versions. There are a couple of FDA-approved devices now, in-office and at-home devices. This is an at-home cordless and rechargeable laser for hair growth.
And how much would something like that cost a patient?
Well, there are different versions. Some of them are smaller, some of them cover a wider area. They can range from a couple of $100 to a couple of $1,000.
Wow, that cheap, a couple of $100?
Yes.
And if, for example, how do you know whether or not it's working? How do you see actual growth with the laser?
Well, the most important thing first is to have that diagnostic and evaluation by a board-certified hair restoration physician. The American Board of Hair Restoration Surgery is now certifying physicians. I'm one of those board-certified doctors. We can look and diagnose what the problem is, and then prescribe a treatment regimen and track it over time, whether it be with photography that's standardized or the hair check device again and again into different areas of the scalp. We can measure hair caliber, we can measure hair density.
Now, on that whole point of being board certified, how important is that, and how do you find a good doctor? What should you be looking for if you want to have a hair transplant or just look at your options to know the person's qualified? Because you've seen some really horrible results with guys with, like, it looks like somebody took an axe to their head.
Right, and there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about the old style procedures that, because hair transplants, let's face it, been around a long time. Some are painful to look at, some are painful to undergo. The latest technology is going to be less invasive, not going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to look 100% natural. So you've got to start American Board of Hair Restoration Surgery, International Society of Hair Restoration Surgery, American Hair Loss Association.
All right, doctor, thank you so much. Great information, which a lot of people really can use and really will benefit from.
Happy Hair Loss Awareness Month, by the way.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. Happy Hair Loss Awareness Month. Thank God I've got mine. Well, if you would like more information and tips on how to treat your hair loss, visit Dr. Bauman. He's in Boca, or you can give him a call at 1-877-BAUMAN-9, or go to online baumanmedical.com. Great information there. Over to you.